Good evening. We will no, so we're not doing a new chapter today. We'll finish radioactivity, which we didn't get the time for last week. So we'll finish radioactivity, and then we'll also discuss your TWT paper. So if you check the doubt group, I've sent you guys the TWT paper. So we'll discuss doubts from that and nicely wrap up modern physics. And then post that next class, we'll start with semiconductors. So today is a small topic within the nucleus chapter itself. Again, not a lot of theory. This chapter is going to be done for you guys in chemistry as well. So you have a chapter in chemistry called as I think nuclear chemistry, or I think it's called as radioactivity itself. So this entire thing will be done again in that chapter. So um, and in fact, this is very similar to your first order chemical kinetics. So in that way, this is um, a topic you already are in a way familiar with, and a topic which you will in a way revise again when you learn it in chemistry. So not very difficult, should not take a lot of time. We do this for the first half of the lecture, and for the second half, we'll discuss your TWT paper. By the way, how was it? How did you find your paper? Easy tha? Okay. Okay. Good. I think एक आध question radioactivity पे भी आया था. Not sure if you guys were able to do it or not. One of you by mistake gave mains. Mains का अच्छा mains का दिया था गलती से. ये कैसे कर दिया? कैसा था mains का? अगर दिया तो? Is that also easy? Anyways, चलो let's get down to this. ठीक है? Let's okay, just couldn't manage time. हाँ, mains guys, mains में हमेशा एक challenge होगा time का. Okay, mains is that kind of exam where maybe things are a lot easier, but then you have to make a lot of smart decisions and you have to manage your time well, especially in this new format where um, you're given 30 questions, but then out of the last 10 numerical type questions, you're free to choose 5. So that choosing 5, that kind of decision making also is going to be quite critical, and then making those kind of decisions in limited time is also going to be quite critical. So that's something you want to intentionally start preparing for at least January onwards. Like by December end, try to clear all your backlogs and strengthen whatever topics you need to strengthen. And then by January, let's start focusing on giving more mains oriented papers. Pace भी अपना एक खुद का एक test series start कर देगा. All right, now radioactivity. So let's quickly have a look at this. So now, as you remember, radio, let's read this last line from the gamma decay page where I said ki alpha, beta, and gamma decays are collectively called as radioactive decay. Okay, so materials undergoing them are said to be radioactive, and the rays of these particles are collectively called as nuclear radiation. Okay, guys, details of when the AITS will start, where will it be held, will it be online, will it be offline, how will it be held? Your WhatsApp groups, your center managers will communicate all those details with you. You can even reach out to them. These are not the kind of details I'm normally aware of, teachers are normally aware of. So just stay in touch with them, ask them all these queries, and they'll help you out. I can only guess. So it's better to hear it from them. Now, let there be n radioactive nuclei in a sample at time t. So these are nuclei which are going to decay. Maybe an alpha decay, maybe a beta decay, we don't care. But these are nuclei which are going to decay. Okay. Let n be the number of nuclei at a particular time t. Okay. So n is at time t, n is going to change with time, and let n naught be the initial number of radioactive nuclei at time t equal to 0. So n naught is the initial number. थोड़ा सा zoom in कर लेते हैं. That's better. Now, there is no way of knowing for sure which nuclei will decay in a given interval. Okay, so this is not as black and white as applying a force on an object and expecting an acceleration from that object. So this is what we call as non-deterministic physics. Like in the sense, here we have to rely on probabilities and statistics. We can't exactly predict कि यार इन सारे nuclei में ये particular nucleus decay होगा या नहीं होगा. Okay, okay. It's just like saying कि imagine imagine, just to keep it simple, let's say our country has 1 billion people, just to keep it simple, and imagine the death rate is let's say it's 100 people are dying every minute. Let's say 100 people are dying every minute. I know it may be way more than that, but just given that statistic, you can't conclude that one particular Indian is going to die in the next minute or not, right? It's just a probability aspect that every minute 100 out of 1 billion people are going to die. So there's a probability that an Indian dies in that 1 minute. If all Indians are identical, there's a probability, like here at least all nuclei are identical. So there's a probability that if all Indians are identical, one Indian, given that statistic, will die in 1 minute with a probability of 100 upon 1 billion, right? So we can't say for sure which Indian will die, but we know, chalo, in 1 billion, amongst 1 billion Indians, at least 100 will die. So now that's the kind of challenge we have over here with nuclei. We don't know which nucleus will decay, okay, in a particular interval, but we can assert statistically that the number of disintegrations, okay, that the number of disintegrations, I'll come back to why that is minus dn. I'll come back to that. But we can assert statistically that the number of disintegrations is proportional to the number of nuclei present and the length of the time interval. Okay. For example, if I'm telling you ki out of 1 billion Indians, 100 will die every minute. That's the same as saying ki if I increase my time frame from 1 minute to 5 minutes, we can expect in a way 500 Indians to die, right? So number of people dying will be proportional to the time interval considered. Similarly, over here, the number of nucleus decaying will be proportional to the small time interval you consider. Why am I saying small? Because you'll find that this number also depends on the total number of nuclei present. एक तो time, 1 minute में 100 Indians मर रहे हैं, तो 5 minute में 500 Indians मरेंगे. That's fair enough. Time बढ़ाने पे number of people dying will increase. At the same time, total number of Indians भी अगर बढ़ाओगे, the number of people dying will increase, right? Assume the probability of dying for any Indian does not change. Instead of 1 billion Indians, if I have 20 billion Indians, if instead of 1 billion Indians, if I have 5 billion Indians, we'll expect 500 people to die per minute, right? So changing the total number of Indians also changes the number of people who will die, and changing the length of a time interval also changes the number of people who will die. And why are we keeping this time interval small? Why am I representing it as dt? That's because if the time interval is too large, the change in the total number of Indians will be very significant, right? And accordingly, फिर अब लोग एक दूसरे rate पे मरना start करेंगे, right? So if I take a time interval of several days, it's possible that 1 billion Indians become like 0.9 billion Indians. Then now 100 per minute के rate पे कोई मरेगा नहीं, but 90 per minute के rate पे people will start dying. So if the time interval is too large, naturally, then the total number of people, or here in this case, the total number of nuclei will change. And accordingly, the rate at which nuclei are decaying also will change, right? So therefore, statistically, we can assert that the number of disintegrations is proportional to the total number of nuclei present. जितना ज़्यादा उतना decay होगा, जितने ज़्यादा nuclei उतना ज़्यादा decay at a nuclei decay होने का chance होगा, and also the length of the time interval dt. Okay, but now over here the number of disintegrations I'm writing as minus dn. So I hope some of you could see why I'm calling that as minus dn. Dn basically means number of final nuclei minus number of initial nuclei. So dn refers to the increase in nuclei, but we're talking about number of disintegrations. Number of disintegrations would actually be the number of would be the decrease in the number of nuclei. Number of disintegrations is kitne se total number of nuclei have reduced, kitne nuclei have disintegrated. So then that should be minus dn, right? My dn means change. Change is final minus initial, increase is final minus initial. Decrease is always initial minus final. I have 100 rupees, tomorrow I have 80 rupees. My bank balance decreased by 100 minus 80, 20. But the initial minus final is decrease. So decrease in the number of nuclei is number of disintegrations. The number of disintegrations is therefore minus dn. Number of disintegrations is therefore minus dn. Okay. इसमें dn खुद नेगेटिव है. Change in n नेगेटिव है क्योंकि n कम हो रहा है. So dn is a negative term, but minus dn is a positive term. Minus dn is number of disintegrations. That is a positive term. Hence the minus sign. Okay. We shall represent the constant of proportionality by lambda. And we're going to call that constant of proportionality the decay constant of the material. तो अब क्या सीन है यहाँ पे? Number of disintegrations, मतलब कितने से न्यूक्लियाई कम हो रहा है at a particular instant minus dn is proportional to total number of nuclei at that instant, and it's proportional to the time interval. That constant of proportionality is lambda. So minus dn is lambda n dt. अच्छा dt को लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे लेके जाओ, ठीक है, and minus sign को left या right पे रखो. The point is this is now ultimately the equation that characterizes radioactive decay. Can you see how this equation is similar to first order chemical kinetics? Right? In fact, the rate at, in fact, there you would write minus dn by dt, implying the rate at which the product, the concentration is decreasing is proportional, sorry, rate at which the reactant ka concentration is decreasing is proportional to the concentration of the reactant. वैसे equation है. Now the dn by dt is minus lambda n. dn by dt is minus lambda n. Okay, and that constant of proportionality is lambda. This is the law of, I mean, this is how your radioactive elements decay. Now, let's figure out how n varies with time. So you've already done this. You know how a first order reaction ka variation with time looks. But let's again solve that quickly and see for ourselves once more. यहाँ पे n हम नीचे लेंगे, dt उधर लेंगे, variable separate करेंगे, integrate both sides. Okay, a definite integration. We are starting from an initial number of nuclei as n naught at time t equal to 0 to a final number of nuclei as n at the general time t. When I integrate the left hand side, I get ln mod n by n naught. Mod hata sakte ho because n and n naught both are positive. They represent number of nuclei, so they will be positive. RHS में 0 से dt, 0 से t का integration, dt का integration t, limit 0 to t leaves it as t. So we get this. And I think I've skipped a step, but I hope you can see what I've done. तो एक तो mod तो हट जाएगा because they are positive. फिर ln दोनों तरफ e raised to अगर करेंगे, दोनों तरफ अगर e raised to करेंगे तो यहाँ पे n by n naught रहेगा और यहाँ पे e raised to minus lambda t रहेगा. तो e raised to LHS is equal to e raised to RHS gives you n by n naught is e raised to minus lambda t. The only thing I've done is then I've taken n naught to the right hand side. So n is n naught e to the power minus lambda t. telling you that the number of nuclei is decaying exponentially. The number of nuclei is decaying exponentially. ठीक है? एक्सपोनेंशियल फंक्शन का एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग ऐसा चीज होता है कि हर बार एक रेशियो से, अगर टोटल नंबर ऑफ न्यूक्लियाई एक रेशियो से कम होना है तो हर बार वो सेम टाइम लगेगा, सेम टाइम टेक करेगा टू रिड्यूस बाय अ सर्टेन फैक्टर. It will always take the same amount of time irrespective of how many nuclei you start with. That's what this exponential function does. In you guys know the concept of half life, right? तो हर बार आधा होने के लिए टाइम सेम लगेगा. You start with a billion nuclei. अगर 1 मिनट में आधा हो रहा है, फिर 1 और मिनट में उसका आधा होगा, 1 और मिनट में उसका आधा होगा. So that fractional change is the same for every time interval. Or the fractional change depends only on the time interval. It does not depend on the number of nuclei. Depends only on the time interval. That's something quite interesting. अच्छा, करके भी देख सकते हो. Fractional change is n naught minus n upon n naught. तो जब करोगे ना n naught minus n upon n naught ऊपर नीचे कटेगा. So you'll be left with 1 minus e raised to minus lambda t upon e raised to minus lambda t. Proving it's a function which only depends on the time interval. Does not depend on n naught. Doesn't depend on the number of nuclei you have. So that's an interesting fact about exponentially decaying functions, which I think you've observed in chemical kinetics. If you have any doubt, you want me to repeat anything, please say so. Okay. We have then one term called as activity. So the activity of the sample is defined as the number of decays per time, per unit time. So number of decays per unit time. So activity is minus dn by dt. It is measured in becquerel. Becquerel is the SI unit, which is equivalent to 1 decay per second. Okay. So becquerel is the logical simple unit measured in 1 decay per second. But then another popular unit is the unit Curie. Okay, Curie का symbol है CI. 1 Curie is 3.7 into 10 to the power 10 becquerel. So try remembering that conversion in case they give you the activities in Curie. 1 Curie is 3.7 into 10 to the power 10 becquerel. Okay. In other words, 1 Curie represents 3.7 into 10 raised to 10 decays per second. CI में subscript I है. Yes. So subscript नहीं है. It's just becquerel is B and Q, and Curie is C and I. जो subscript नहीं है, बस वो छोटा I है. C, capital C followed by small I. Okay. Cool. No doubts here so far. Yeah. Acha. Now, activity, coming back to the definition of activity, activity was what? Number of disintegrations, मतलब minus dn per unit time. So minus dn by dt. And dn by dt was minus lambda n. Minus dn by dt is lambda into n. So activity is lambda into n. Activity is a constant into the number of nuclei. Okay. In fact, activity will vary just like the number of nuclei varies, because it's just one constant into the number of nuclei. ठीक है? तो अगर number of nuclei आधा होगा, activity आधा होगा. ठीक है? Initial activity is also lambda times initial number of nuclei. तो जैसा number of nuclei vary with time, वैसा ही activity also varies with time. Okay, and if divide both sides by lambda and you get to see n is n naught e raised to minus lambda t, which is the equation we have derived. Multiply both sides by lambda, so lambda n becomes a and lambda n naught becomes a naught. So you get activity is current activity is initial activity into e to the power minus lambda t. All right. Okay. So again, be aware of that term. It's just lambda times number of nuclei. The next is the half-life. So half-life, like of any first order reaction, or over here, the half-life of a decay is the time elapsed before half the radioactive nuclei are left. Okay? Before half of the radioactive nuclei are left. Previous page, एक second दिखा रहा हूँ. हो गया तो देख के हो गया तो बता दो. कुछ पूछना है तो पूछो. सेकंड पॉइंट अच्छा जल्दी से बता देता हूँ. We just saying कि like I gave a quick example. I said कि if I have 1 billion people, identical people, let's say, and I tell you their death rate is 100 deaths per minute. ठीक है? And if they're all identical, मतलब they all have an equal probability of dying. So I said कि just given that death rate, I can't pick a particular person out of the 100 billion and guarantee that that guy will die in 1 minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes. We don't know. He may not die at all. We just know statistically that he has a 100 upon 1 billion chance of dying in a minute. And statistically, out of, I mean, as a total macroscopic observation, out of 1 billion people, 100 would die per minute. That's all we can say. But we can't say whether a specific person may die or not. But by statistics, we can say that the number of deaths is proportional to the time interval we consider. 1 minute में 100 मरेंगे तो 2 मिनट में 200 मरेंगे. We can say that statistically. ठीक है? As long as the interval is small, we can say that. And the second thing is, we can also say कि is proportional to the total number of people present. If out of 1 billion, 100 are dying, out of 2 billion, 200 should die per minute, given the same probability of dying for each person, right? So if I increase the number of people, the number of deaths increases. If I increase the time interval, obviously the number of deaths increases. वैसा ही सीन है. डेथ के जगह यहाँ पे न्यूक्लियस का डीके है, लोग के जगह न्यूक्लियाई है. So the number of decays, the number of disintegrations of a nuclei is proportional to the number of nuclei and proportional to the length of the time interval. Got it? Current number of nuclei के proportional and time interval जिसमें nuclei decay होगा. Great. And that constant of proportionality is lambda. वो solve करके we have arrived at this equation, which is, in fact, this is the equation before integrating it, and that's your first order kinetics का equation. Okay? Exactly the same as that. Now half life जैसा first order kinetics में था वैसे ही यहाँ पे है. Half life of a decay is the time elapsed before half the radioactive nuclei left. मतलब आधा decay हो गया, आधा रह गया. So number of nuclei left is initial number of nuclei by 2. The number of nuclei का formula क्या है? N naught e raised to minus lambda t. I've replaced t with t half. T half represents half life का time, and यहाँ पे तब n का values n naught by 2. So at t equal to t half, n is n naught by 2. अब ये equation से दोनों जगह n naught cancel कर लो, so we get half is e raised to minus lambda t half. Okay, now इसका reciprocal ले लो, तो इसका reciprocal हो जाएगा 2 is e raised to lambda t half. फिर दोनों तरफ ln ले लो, तो ln2 is lambda t half, making your half life ln2 by lambda या 0.693 by lambda. And I guess you guys already know कि first order reaction में half life का formula ये होता है. I think lambda की जगह you have k, right? Rate constant. But this is the idea. It's ln2 by k, ln2 by lambda. Okay, the same thing over here. And then if I want to write my number of nuclei, फिलहाल तो my number of nuclei is in terms of t, right? It's n naught e to the power minus lambda t. मतलब the general number of nuclei is in that form. तो अगर मुझे इसको एक और फॉर्म में लिखना है, where I don't have e raised to some time, but I have 2 raised to certain times, right? Because 2 ka powers are easier. So if I want to write it in that form, what we can do is, it should be n is n naught e to the power minus lambda t. Okay, notice I've kept t the same way, but I'm going to work around with lambda. तो lambda को अगर ऊपर लेंगे और t half को नीचे लाएंगे, you can say कि lambda is ln2 by t half. Lambda is ln2 by t half. So I'm replacing this with ln2 by t half. So now n is n naught e to the power minus ln2 t by t half. Okay, and यहाँ से I will get कि it is n naught into e raised to ln2 raised to minus t by t half, and e raised to ln2 is basically 2. So this becomes n naught 2 to the power minus t by t half. N naught into 2 to the power minus t by t half. So very simple equation. This basically tells me that if t is some constant into t half, if my current time is some multiple of t half, let the multiple be k, and if you put t as k into t half cut jayega, 2 raised to minus k niche jayega. The result we get is number of nuclei is n naught upon 2 raised to k. So if the time elapsed is some multiple of t half, the number of nuclei left is n naught divided by 2 raised to that multiple. इसका मतलब क्या है? एक half life, if k is 1, एक half life में ये n naught by 2 हो जाएगा. फिर 2 half life में ये n naught by 4 हो जाएगा. Okay, so in 2 half lives n naught by 4, आधा का आधा. 3 half life में n naught by 8, आधा का आधा, and so on and so forth. 4 half lives, n naught by 16. So you keep dividing by 2. Each half life it keeps getting divided by 2. The beauty of your exponential function is that every time interval, the ratio by which this number of nuclei will change is the same. तो अगर एक half life में number of nuclei आधा हो रहा है, हर half life में वो हर subsequent half life में आधा होते जाएगा. Okay, it does not matter how many nuclei you have, as long as it's still a large number. है ना? 5 nuclei के साथ, it's not countable. It's still a large number. So how many ever nuclei you have, they'll always get reduced by half each half life. Each half life. All right. So this particular formula, अब ये तो logical है. I think you guys know the meaning of half life that way. You know 3 half lives में number of nuclei आधा 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 हो जाएगा. The use of this formula could be in places where they ask you what will happen after 2.5 half lives. So that's where you'll actually have to use the mathematical form. You know 2 half lives में आधा का आधा 4 हो रहा है, इनमें 8 हो by 8 हो जाएगा. 1/4 और 1/8 के बीच में कुछ होगा in 2.5 half lives, but exactly क्या ratio से total number of nuclei को change करना. That's why you need this exact power. All right, so that's why you need this mathematical equation. So if I say 2.5 t is 2.5 times half life, you plug it in this formula and you get n naught upon 2 raised to 2.5, which is n naught upon 4 root 2. You know the value of root 2 and you can easily figure out the number of nuclei. Okay, so this is also a useful formula if you want to work with that. Again, now for your information, in case you're working with this, okay, and we give you some values of t, जिसके कारण you end up like lambda t, let's say uska value becomes 1. So it will help if you remember the value of these 3 terms, and more than it's a requirement for modern physics. You will actually need this for CR circuits, and I don't know if you've reached there yet, but LR circuits um, in EMI. So उन चैप्टर हो गया क्या, उस LR सर्किट भी हो गया, EMI हो गया? ओ, कुछ लोग हाँ बोल रहे, कुछ लोग ना नहीं. आई डोंट थिंक EMI हो गया. ठीक है, CR सर्किट्स हो गया. CR सर्किट्स में करंट कैसा डीके करता है? अच्छा, स्कूल में हुआ. ठीक है, करंट कैसे डीके करता है, दैट आल्सो इज बाय द सेम एक्सपोनेंशियल फॉर्मूला. सो करंट आल्सो डीकेज इन द सेम मैनर. ठीक है, करंट आल्सो डीकेज इन द सेम मैनर in these CR and LR circuits. Charge also, if it's reducing to zero, it also changes in the same manner. So in those areas, you probably know कि in one time constant, okay, all right, in one time constant, है ना, यहाँ पे lambda t की जगह t by time constant होता है. एक time constant में मतलब ये value 1 हो जाता है, और एक time constant में you probably remember कि overall value of that current that is decaying reduces by 63%, right? Anything which is decaying or changing in this manner changes by 63%. The process is 63% completed. I hope you remember that golden number. And वो 63% आता कहाँ से है? Comes from the fact that e raised to -1 is 0.37. तो पहले 1 था, अभी 0.37 times हो गया, मतलब 63% कम हो गया. So it will help if you remember these 2-3 terms, maybe not here, but even more so for your CR circuits. E raised to -2, तो दो टाइम कांस्टेंट में 86.5% कम हो जाता है. 86.5% कम हो रहा है, तो बचता है 13.5%. So e raised to -2 0.135 and e raised to -3 is a simple one. 95% लगभग कम हो जाता है तीन टाइम कांस्टेंट में, and बच जाता है 5%. तो e raised to -3 is 0.05. Okay, yeah. So I'll just ग्रीन लाइन ऑनवर्ड्स एक्सप्लेन करना है. तो पहले तो I'll just say कि ये तीन जो नंबर्स हैं ये याद कर लो. It will be useful for you in any chapter which has exponential decay. So that's chemical kinetics, radioactivity, physics and chem wala, and then CR circuits and LR circuits. So a lot of chapters have this kind of radioactive decay. Radioactive decay center around this mathematical term. I think you should know E के first three powers. एक तो E का power negative ही होगा, तो you should remember E raised to at least -1, -2, -3. 0.37, 0.135, 0.05. Okay, इनका consequence समझो. इसका मतलब lambda t जब 1 है उतने टाइम में ये 0.37 मतलब 37% रह जाएगा. ठीक है, t equal to 1 by lambda टाइम में, 1 by lambda is a special time. I will prove what that time is. It's actually called as average life. Again, that's a spoiler. तो एक एवरेज लाइफ t equal to 1 by lambda टाइम में 37% ये डीके हो जाता है. मतलब 37% ही रह जाता है. t equal to 1 by lambda टाइम में एवरेज लाइफ में या एक टाइम कांस्टेंट में 37% रह जाता है. तो इसमें 13.5% रह जाता है. Right, 0.135 is this fraction telling you only 0.135 of the original number of nuclei is left. तीन टाइम कांस्टेंट में 5% रह जाता है. तो प्लीज रिमेंबर दीज नंबर्स. दैट वाज व्हाट आई सेड. और यहाँ पे लाल लाइन में क्या लिखा था? तो ग्रीन लाइन में आई एम जस्ट सेइंग कि n is n naught e to the power minus lambda t. लैम्डा को मैंने रीअरेंज कर लिया एज ln2 by t half. ओके, ln2 by t half. तो उससे क्या हो गया? दिस बिकम्स n naught e to the power minus ln2 by t half. I'm rearranging that as e raised to ln2 raised to minus t by t half. And we know e raised to ln2 is 2. So this equation now can also be written like this. Instead of e raised to minus lambda t, you can write it as 2 raised to minus t by t half. Okay, and this is useful if I'm given time in terms of t half. In fact, this tells me if time is some particular multiple of t half, if t is k times t half, time elapsed is k times t half. So t half कट जाएगा. I will get n naught 2 to the power minus k या n naught upon 2 raised to k. इसका मतलब if t is one time half life, number of nuclei left is n naught by 2. एक half life में आधा होता है. If k is 2, if t is 2 half lives, number of nuclei left is n naught by 4. क्यों? 2 half life में आधा का आधा हो रहा है, तो by 2 का by 2 हो रहा है. वैसे ही 4 half life में by 2 का by 2 का by 2 का by 2 है ना, तो becomes n naught by 2 raised to 4, n naught by 16. And while it's quite logical to work with integral multiples of half life, if somebody tells you time is 3.5 half life, that's where you may get a little stuck. That's where just the knowledge or the definition of half life is not enough. That's where you'll have to use this formula. So 3.5 half life, plug it over here. So I get n naught upon 2 raised to 3.5. Okay, n naught upon 2 raised to 3.5. How to find k? नहीं, k is a variable. मतलब हम बोलेंगे तुम्हें टाइम, जैसे चलो एग्जांपल कर लेते हैं. ठीक है, सो एक एग्जांपल करेंगे. So a given radioactive sample has let's just say, you know, like 64 billion nuclei. Okay, a given radioactive sample has 64 billion nuclei. Okay, it has a time, it has a half life of um, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. How many nuclei are left after so how many nuclei left after 15 minutes? How many nuclei are left after 17.5 minutes? Let's try this quickly. T is k times half life. T दिया है, half life दिया है. That was what k represented. Yes, Sarthak. Yes, Ahmed. यस, सार्थक सही है। Cool. अहमद सही है। So very simple. So it's like 3 half-lives. This one can be done like just orally. You don't need to exactly use the formula. So for this first one, the way we'll do this is 15 minutes is basically 3 half-lives, right? It's 3 into 5 minutes. So it's basically 3 half-lives. Three half-lives. 3 half-lives, matlab n is n naught by 2 further by 2 by 2, right? 3 बार आधा आधा करके जाओगे. So n is basically n naught by 8. N is n naught by 8. Okay. This one just half-life के definition से हो जाएगा. So n naught is 64 billion. So n is of course 8 billion. The second one, you can't really work just with the definition. The second one, you'll have to use the formula. So the second one says 17.5 minutes. Okay. So 17.5 minutes. In fact, t by t half over here. Okay, the given time frame is what multiple of my half-life? So it is 3.5 times my half-life. Okay. Now let's use the formula. N is n naught times 2 to the power minus t divided by t half. Okay, so making it n naught upon 2 to the power t by t half, and t by t half is 3.5. So it's n naught by 2 to the power 3.5. This is what I was saying. तुम्हारा time interval t half के कितने times है, that was k. So 3.5 is k, and your number of nuclei left will be n naught upon 2 raised to that ratio. Okay, so if the time interval is 3.5 times your half-life, number of nuclei left will be n naught divided by 2 to the power 3.5. So that makes it 64 by 8 root 2 billion. Okay, which is, in fact, we can make it 64 by 16 into root 2. So this can be made as 4 root 2 billion. Okay, 16 by root 2, you have 4 root 2. There are 8 by root 2, you have 4 root 2. And that becomes, taking root was 1.4. This is approximately 5.6 billion. 5.6. Got it? Two raised to 3.5. This 17.5 divided by 5 is 3.5. 3.5 आएगा 2.5. Got it? Simple. है ना? So ऐसे questions, I think this is the kind of question you had in your TWT as well, which we are going to see and discuss soon. Okay. So very simple, very primitive, very simple idea. Okay. No doubts. एक और important time है, that's called as average time. Okay. But average. Oh, okay, fine. Fair enough. सही है. You're saying final answer is fair enough. This is 2 raised to 2.5. Yes, 4 root 2 is 2 raised to 2.5. Final answer C. Say it. Cool. Abhi, one more important term is average life or mean life. Okay. अब इसका थोड़ा derivation थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है, but at least the first step of the derivation, understanding that is quite important, because average of any term, that kind of concept can really be asked in any part of physics. Okay, so understanding like how to take an average, you will get to see this in AC circuits as well, but in general, like understanding how to take an average is quite important. So in the first 2 lines, the concept of average time is covered. Uske aage it's just maths, and you guys are familiar with integration, so uske aage bas integration hai, thoda mehnat se answer aata hai. Answer to yaad hi karenge hum, exam mein derive kuch karenge nahi, but har baar when we practice this topic, we will practice the derivation, because there are a lot of skills that will get strengthened in this derivation. The maths itself is something which you need to which will require conceptual clarity, and the definition of average is again something which will need a lot of conceptual clarity. So average life ka dekho matlab kya hota hai, dekho. So average life is the sum of the lifetimes of each nuclei divided by the total number of nuclei initially. Okay, sum of the lifetimes, life lengths of each nuclei divided by total number of nuclei initially. Imagine there is a class of many students, okay? Many students, let's say 50-60 students, and let's say 60 students, and let's say they all give a test, okay? A 10-mark test, and I want to calculate the average score. I want to calculate the average score scored by each guy in the test. I mean, the average score scored by the class. So what am I going to do? I'm going to add up the scores of all 60 students, and I'm going to divide it by 60. Add up the score of each student, divide by total number of students. यहाँ पे क्या करें? Add up the lifetimes of each nuclei divided by the total number of nuclei initially. Now, अब ये add करते वक्त, there is one smart way of adding. May not really make a difference when I'm working with just 60 students, but one way I could add the total score of each student is, I could take all students जिनका score 1 है, I could take all students जिनका score 1 है, and what I could do is I could multiply it with the number of students scoring 1 mark, right? So score 1 multiplied with the number of students scoring 1 mark. ये इनका marks का sum देगा मुझे. फिर I'll take the students which scored 2 marks and multiply it with the number of students which scored 2 marks. Then I take the number of students who score 3 marks and multiply with the number of students who score 3 marks. तो ऐसा कर करके हर possible mark के लिए जितने students ने वो mark score किया है, marks into those many students will give me the sum of marks for students in that category. तो ऐसा सब add कर करके, wouldn't I get the total number of marks scored by all the students? Right? I'll get the total number of marks scored by all the students. We are trying to do something similar while finding the total lifetime of each nuclei. So what we'll do, at time t, हमने कहानी यहाँ से start किया था कि minus dn number of nuclei dk, right? Minus dn is a positive number, dn is negative because n कम हो रहा है, minus dn is positive. At t time इतने nuclei कम हो रहे हैं, इतने nuclei decay हो रहे हैं. If they are decaying at time t, then that makes their lifetime t. They were from t equal to 0 till time t. Time t पे decay हुआ, तो इन nuclei का time का lifespan t seconds हो गया. Because if they decay at time t, the lifespan itself becomes t seconds. The sum of their lifespans is the number of nuclei decaying into that lifespan t. It's like saying the sum of the marks of students who scored 1 mark is 1 mark into the number of students who scored 1 mark. The sum of the marks of the students who scored 2 marks is 2 into the number of students who scored 2 marks. वैसे ही the sum of the lifespans of those who are decaying at time t is minus dn, like number of students, into t, the score of those students. Okay, so minus dn into t is the total lifespan of nuclei decaying at time t. For total lifetime, जैसा वहां पे मुझे 1 into 7, 2 into 6, 3 into 10 ऐसा हर स्कोर के लिए ऐड करना पड़ा, यहाँ पे भी मुझे टोटल लाइफ टाइम के लिए I need to add this term for all possible values of t. There will be nuclei which will be disintegrating at t equal to 0. There will be nuclei, statistically, there can be nuclei which disintegrate at t equal to infinity as well. Probability will almost be infinitesimally small, but still, statistically, yes, there may be nuclei which are disintegrating very, very late. So I need to add this term minus dn into t for all possible lifespans, right? This is just the sum of lifespans for those who are dying at t, decaying at t. तो ऐसा हर lifespan के लिए sum of lifespans add करेंगे, so I get this term, and this is total lifespan, sum of all lifespans. This I need to divide by the number of nuclei initially. So before I proceed further, is there any doubt in this? Or did you guys understand कि ये है t average conceptually? हाँ, ये समझना थोड़ा important है कि ऐसा हम एवरेज निकाल रहे हैं. इसके आगे तो बस मैच है. No doubt so far. Everyone understood कि this is my average time total. I hope you can understand. I hope you understood why this is the total sum of all the lifetimes, the sum of all the lifespans. Okay. All right. Now, अब क्या करेंगे यहाँ पे minus dn. In the beginning, we said minus dn was lambda n dt. So I'm replacing minus dn with lambda n dt, and t is going from 0 to infinity. Okay. And the next thing I'll also do is ये जो n है, n को I will replace with n naught e to the power minus lambda t. Okay. n को replace with n naught e to the power minus lambda t. तो lambda जो है वो बाहर गया, because वो constant था, t और dt अंदर रह गया, they are variable, t is a variable, and ये n naught अब जो ऊपर है और नीचे जो n naught है वो कट रहा है. So this leaves me with this kind of integration. Now you guys are studying integration in maths, and that's integration is not our objective over here. So I will not waste too much time. I'll go over this quickly. You see an exponential function and you see an algebraic function. You can crack your head and see कि there's really nothing you can do, no substitution. ठीक है? कर लिया है already. हाँ, great. कहाँ पे कर लिया है? स्कूल में, कैम्प में. Okay, so what do you do over here? Yes, but किसमें कर लिया है? इंटीग्रेशन खत्म हो गया. हाँ, ब्रिलियंट. तो यहाँ पे क्या करेंगे? एक एक्सपोनेंशियल है, एक algebraic है, तो you use by parts, right? You use by parts. So you will use the fact कि according to Eilert, exponential function is your second term and your algebraic function is your first term. ठीक है, मैथ्स है, जल्दी से बस बता रहा हूँ. इसको जब इंटीग्रेट करोगे तो क्या है फॉर्मूला? लैम्डा बार गया, फर्स्ट टर्म एज इट इज इनटू सेकंड टर्म का इंटीग्रेशन, e raised to minus lambda t का इंटीग्रेशन इज e raised to minus lambda t upon minus lambda. Limits will go from 0 to infinity. ठीक है? Yes, u is, yeah, this is u, this is the differentiable function, and e raised to minus lambda t is your v, the integrable function. ठीक है? अच्छा, तो ये फर्स्ट टर्म ऐसा लिख लिया. सेकंड टर्म क्या होगा? फिर माइनस इंटीग्रल ओवर द सेम लिमिट्स, फर्स्ट टर्म का डेरिवेटिव विच इज 1 इनटू सेकंड टर्म का इंटीग्रेशन विच इज e raised to minus lambda t by minus lambda, और इसको फिर दोबारा इंटीग्रेट करना है. अच्छा, एक बार ये सेकंड टर्म को इंटीग्रेट करने पे क्या मिलता है वो लिख लेते हैं. तो सेकंड टर्म में पहले माइनस साइन बाहर है, माइनस साइन डाल दिया, फिर e raised to minus lambda t का इंटीग्रेशन gives me e raised to minus lambda t by minus lambda. ऑन टॉप ऑफ दैट पहले से एक और माइनस लैम्डा था, तो इधर इस बार दोनों मतलब डिनोमिनेटर में दो माइनस लैम्डा है. पहला आया बाई पार्ट्स में, इसके अंदर ही इंटीग्रेट करने के कारण माइनस लैम्डा आ गया. उसके बाद ये पूरा टर्म को वापस इंटीग्रेट करने के कारण एक और माइनस लैम्डा आ गया. ओके, यू कैन simplify and cancel some things, but we'll come to that in a bit. Iska limits is 0 to infinity. Now the important thing over here is how do we place limits in this? All right. So when we place 0, it's fairly simple. If I place the lower limit, t is 0 and e raised to minus 0 is 1. But basically t is 0. So this, on placing the lower limit, this term is clearly 0. But on placing the upper limit, when you place infinity, technically what you're placing is you're finding the value of this term. You're finding the limit of this term as t tends to infinity. Okay, you're finding the limit of this term as t tends to infinity. That's what it means. What does this term tend to as t tends to infinity? E raised to minus lambda t को नीचे ले लो तब साफ साफ दिखेगा. As t tends to infinity, this term tends to 0. The numerator and denominator both are tending to infinity, but t is a simple linear function. This is an exponential function. This is going to be way greater than t. It's going to be greater than any algebraic function, in fact, that you can write. All right. So any algebraic by any exponential, positive power exponential function, as both tend to infinity, their ratio will tend to 0, because this guy rises a lot faster than any algebraic function, leave alone a linear function. तो ये रेशियो इज 0, सो इसलिए अपर लिमिट भी 0 हो जाता है. ठीक है. फिर यहाँ पे इसमें जब लिमिट्स डालेंगे, इन्फिनिटी डालने पे e रेज टू माइनस इन्फिनिटी इज 0. अच्छा, वो लिमिट्स डालने के पहले मैंने यहाँ पे माइनस माइनस काट दिया, ये तो पूरा गायब हो गया. ये लैम्डा और ये लैम्डा काट दिया, तो बेसिकली बस क्या रह गया, पॉजिटिव e रेज टू माइनस लैम्डा टी बाई माइनस लैम्डा. ठीक है. माइनस लैम्डा को मैंने इधर शांति से लिखा है. e रेज टू माइनस लैम्डा टी में मैं अब इन्फिनिटी डालूंगा तो 0 आएगा. इन्फिनिटी डालने पे 0 माइनस लोअर लिमिट 0 डालने पे 1. So that's how we get minus 1 by minus lambda, and that's how we get our average time as 1 upon lambda. अंत में surprisingly एक अच्छा result आ रहा है. So this is called as our average life. You are not going to do this in the exam. In the exam, average life का value याद of course करना है, and there's no big deal in remembering it. You will not do this derivation in the exam, but you should ideally do this derivation every time you practice as a challenge. I think the math part is good. This idea of placing infinity and with confidence realizing that a 0 was good. And more important than everything else, this first step itself, understanding that this is what you need to do to find average time, and then making these two substitutions. यहाँ तक physics use हो रहा था. All right. So your average life is 1 by lambda. Yeah, you can say it is t half-life by ln2. Half-life is ln2 by lambda, so this is half-life by ln2. Please remember this result. Please remember this result. Okay. How did I take minus sign in integration? Which step have I taken a minus sign? Let me know. Step 1, step 2. कहाँ पे minus sign की बात कर रहे थे? Step 1. Are you talking about this minus sign? इंटीग्रेशन बाय पार्ट्स का फॉर्मूला क्या है? फर्स्ट फंक्शन इनटू सेकंड फंक्शन का इंटीग्रेशन माइनस इंटीग्रल. हाँ, ठीक है. तो यूजिंग, yes, so we have actually applied integration by parts. Okay. Using I-late, we said this was the first term and that exponential function was the second term. Cool. ये डेरिवेशन काफी अच्छा है फिजिक्स के पर्सपेक्टिव से, एडवांस एग्जाम देने वाले लोग के पर्सपेक्टिव से, बट अदरवाइज प्लीज रिमेंबर द रिजल्ट. ओके. Any doubts? चलो एक question कर लो. Given radioactive sample has 74 into 10 to the power 20 nuclei and a half-life of 100 seconds. Find its activity in 200 seconds in Curie. Yeah. Find its activity in 100 seconds, 200 seconds in Curie. Just for your reference, 1 Curie is, since you just saw it today, नहीं तो बाद में तुम्हें याद करना पड़ेगा. 3.7 into 10 to the power 10 becquerel, and becquerel is the SI unit. Simple वाला, just decay per second. Come on, guys. क्या आ रहा है? Yes, Devin, that's right. Yes, Tanmay, that's right. Disha, that's close. एक factor of 2 missing है. Yes, Gaurav, that's right. So क्या करना था यहाँ पे? पहले तो activity in 200 seconds, right? So a given radioactive sample had 74 into 10 raised to 20 nuclei So obviously the number of nuclei left after, and half-life was 100 seconds. So 200 second बाद मतलब after two half-lives, 74 by 4 into 10 to the power 20 nuclei would be left. थोड़ा लंबा खासा लिखा है, but the point is, if I put t as 200 and my half-life is 100, right? So 2 to the power minus 2 becomes 1 upon 4. So basically the number of nuclei left is 74 into 10 raised to 20 by 4. But now activity is what? Activity is lambda times number of nuclei. Activity is lambda times number of nuclei. Lambda दिया नहीं है, lambda निकालना है, कैसे निकालेंगे? So lambda is ln2 by t half. मैंने basically ln2 ऊपर नीचे multiply किया, but the point is lambda by ln2 is 1 upon t half. So lambda is actually, the entire term is actually ln2 by t half. And ऐसे लिखोगे तो basically तुम्हें आंसर ऐसा यूनिट्स में आएगा, नंबर ऑफ डीकेस पर सेकंड becquerel में आएगा, ठीक है? But then substituting ln2 as 0.693, substituting ln2 by lambda half-life as 100, and यहाँ पे already 74 into 10 raised to 20 by 4 है, and then converting becquerel into curie. 1 becquerel is 1 curie by 3.7 into 10 raised to 10. The result we get is, so यहाँ पे of course थोड़ा cancelling वगैरह किया है, 3.7 by 74 is 20, फिर 2 2s are 4 and 2 10s are 20. Okay, फिर 10 raised to 10, 10 raised to 20 and नीचे 100. So 10 raised to 20 by 10 raised to 12 is 10 to the power 8. And ये वाला 10 and 0.693, 6.93, and divided by 2, it becomes 3.465. Divided by 2 becomes 3.465. So basically, this is the result. So if you can see, like a lot of these radioactivity questions are actually very simple. Only complications can arise if you do not know what activity means, if you don't know how to convert from becquerel to curie, and if you, that's it, if you don't know what happens in x k half lives, n कितने से change होता है, या e का power e raised to -1 -2 -3, अगर if you're not familiar with those 3 formulas, then maybe you could get stuck. Otherwise it's quite simple. Yeah, so we are actually done, but maybe I'll just give you one last question. A question in this question, let's say a parent is decaying into a daughter nucleus and the daughter nucleus further decays. Okay, so let's say a parent nucleus decays into, starts decaying into a daughter nucleus at t equal to 0. The decay constant for the parent is lambda 1, and for the daughter is lambda 2. The daughter further decay हो रहा है, ठीक है, and for the daughter is lambda 2. If initially there were n naught number of parent nuclei, find the maximum number of daughter nuclei. Then find the maximum number of daughter nuclei. The decay constant for the parent is lambda1. No, Devin, I missed it. Was it visible from Mumbai? Oh, nice, nice. It's similar to a question where just to give you a hint, like we have done a question like this in fluid mechanics where water is leaking from the bottom and we're also pouring in water from the top, right? And then I ask you what's the equilibrium water level. Water's flowing out at some rate, water's coming in at some rate. Sequential chemical kinetics, very nice. So if you've done that in chemical kinetics, it's just like that. Daughter is being produced at some rate and it's decaying at some rate. Maximum number of daughter nuclei के केस में क्या होगा? Come on guys, 2-3 लाइन का ही solution है. थोड़ा maybe I'll just write a reaction like this is our parent becoming into a daughter which is becoming into a granddaughter. Okay, so इस reaction का rate है lambda 1, इस reaction का rate है lambda 2, decay constant है lambda 2. Decay constant is like your rate constant. Anyone? At the beginning, at t equal to 0, okay. So I'm unveiling the steps step by step. Okay, something strikes, you guys can continue. At t equal to 0, 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes later. ठीक है, जिनको कुछ भी नहीं आ रहा है, एक hint for you guys. When in the water question at equilibrium, okay, at equilibrium, the rate at which the the water level was increasing, because the water coming from the top, is the rate at which water level was decreasing due to water leaving from the hole at the bottom. So that's the kind of the idea. Net rate of increase was 0. Net rate of increase is 0. यहाँ पे maxima का फंडा लगाओ. Okay, when I ask you to find maximum number of daughter nuclei at maxima, rate of change, derivative of the number of nuclei with respect to time should be 0. That's your hint. Oh my bad. एक मिनट guys, I think I messed up. एक second, just let me modify the question. I think I messed up. नहीं, my bad. If sorry, I'll just modify this a bit. नहीं यार, I think नहीं, this is just the way it is not an easy question. I think the question should have been sorry guys, my apologies. यहाँ पे just um, sorry, I'll just modify this. My bad. Now I can understand why it was taking you guys time. Find the ratio of the number of nuclei in the daughter that in the parent when the number of nuclei in the daughter is maximum. My bad. I think I messed up. I made one blunder. ये करो. Sorry, ये करो. I think the question I'd asked you for that, I would have had to tell you कितने मतलब एक extra unknown था. Yes, Puna, that's right. So the question I'd asked, उसके लिए एक extra unknown था. I would have had to tell you this as well. तब that question would be solved. Tab that question would be solved. Anyways, now बाकी का भी आ रहा है क्या? I think now it's easier. I don't need to write all this, but just say that z is n naught minus x minus y. So the idea is कि जब daughter nucleus का जो concentration है, जो number of nuclei है, when that reaches its maximum, ठीक है? When x is maximum, that just means कि rate of change of x is 0. Rate of change of x is 0. If rate of change of x is 0, okay, that means rate of change of x क्या था? तो x तो एक तो p से बन रहा है, p से बन रहा है, p से क्या rate पे बन रहा है? तो d lambda 1, in fact इस z की जगह n would have been better. तो ये d क्या रेट पे बन रहा है? तो lambda 1 times parent number of nuclei के रेट पे बन रहा है. lambda 1 n के रेट से ये घट रहा है, तो लैम्डा 1 n के रेट से ये बन रहा है, बट फिर ये खुद डीके हो रहा है, और ये खुद कितने के रेट से डीके हो रहा है, लैम्डा 2 टाइम्स उसमें कितने न्यूक्लियाई है, तो लैम्डा 2 x के रेट से डीके हो रहा है. ओके, लैम्डा 2 x के रेट से डीके हो रहा है. सो नाउ व्हेन द x इज मैक्सिमम, x और n का रेशियो becomes, basically their activities become the same. Lambda 1 n is lambda 2x, and from there we get ki x is lambda 1 by lambda 2 times n. And the kind of question I was actually going for was, I was trying to write n as lambda 1 lambda 2 n naught minus x minus y, n ko wo likhne wala tha, so that becomes another equation in x. I mean, that becomes a linear equation x, which you can solve for x. But then for you to report the answer of x, you need the value of n naught, which I had given, but you also need the value of y. So if they give you n naught and y, then the question makes sense. You think the previous question can also be, Puna, why don't you unmute and let's quickly discuss if the previous question can also be solved without y. So you're saying y can be written in terms of x. I think एक complicated differential equation होगा to know कितना y है x के मुताबिक. You want to unmute? Okay, wait. Just raise your hand, I'll unmute you. Raise your hand.
Sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was going down the lines of writing minus dB by dt, as in I wrote A goes to B goes to C.
Okay.
So I wrote minus dB by dt is lambda 2B minus lambda 1A.
Can you just repeat that?
So it would be minus d by dt equals to lambda 2d minus lambda 1p.
Minus lambda 1, lambda 2d minus lambda 1p. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
And p can be written as n naught e raised to the power of minus lambda 1t.
No, d can be written that way. Is that what you're saying?
No, p, not d.
P can be written that way.
Yeah, and I then multiplied both sides with e to the power of lambda 2t, and then that got integrated.
Okay, let's just see what you're saying. So you're saying ki d by dt,
yeah,
is lambda 1
lambda 2d,
p, which can be written as n naught e to the power minus lambda 1t, right?
yeah,
Plus, yeah, rather minus lambda 2d.
So I took the lambda 2d to the other side.
Okay. And you were able to integrate this?
Yeah, I think we did something like this in kinetics as well.
Okay. So you took this to the other side. Okay.
And multiply the entire equation with e raised to the power of lambda 2t.
E raised to the power of lambda 2t.
Yeah.
Okay. And what does that do?
So the entire left-hand side becomes the derivative of e raised to the power of lambda to td.
अच्छा 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 हाँ 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 अच्छा this is the derivative of e raised to lambda 2 and that's oh yes
And then that can be integrated.
oh yes so that will then give you the value of d.
And then you can maximize b by putting derivative as zero.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. Oh yeah, that's good. So I'll just think for the benefit of others as well. I'll just repeat that. So maybe in terms of the symbols we are working with, very nice, Purna, very nice. So dx by dt is lambda 1. Okay, dx by dt is lambda 1 n. N can be written as n naught e to the power minus lambda t because n is not affected, is decaying at its own rate. All right, minus lambda 2 times x. Right? The same equation जो ऊपर लिखा है, lambda 2 times x. Now, what she has done is she took lambda 2x to the right hand side. And then she multiplied both sides with e raised to lambda 2. Let's write this is x. Multiplied both sides with e raised to e raised to lambda 2t. That makes this so is this a technique you guys have learned in differential equation of maths? So this was dx by dt plus lambda 2x, and she's multiplied both sides with e raised to lambda t. This becomes dx by dt e raised to lambda 2t plus lambda 2 x e raised to lambda 2t. Okay? In fact, let's write x. Anyways, तो ये ऐसा हो गया, and the RHS, which was lambda 1 n naught e to the power minus lambda 1 t, becomes lambda 1 n naught e to the power lambda 2 minus lambda 1 t. And this can now be integrated because the LHS is d x e raised to lambda 2 t by dt. ये उल्टा देखोगे तो फिर प्रोडक्ट रूल लगाते वक्त ये x का डेरिवेटिव इनटू e रेज़ टू lambda 2 as it is प्लस e रेज़ टू lambda 2 का डेरिवेटिव इनटू x as it is. Very nice. So this is lambda 1 n naught e to the power lambda 2 minus lambda 1. Integrate both sides. ठीक है, dt उधर ले लो and integrate so that gives me e raised to lambda 2t. I need to actually integrate with the limits. Sorry. It gives me e raised to lambda 2t, इसको 0 से t इंटीग्रेट करेंगे, और RHS will give me lambda 1 n naught e to the power lambda 2 minus lambda 1 t divided by lambda 2 minus lambda 1, तो इसको भी 0 से t. Alright, so ऐसा कुछ रिजल्ट आ रहा है, e lambda 2 t minus 1. Have I missed something? X ही miss किया मैंने, I'm so sorry. X. X ही miss किया. X. फिर यहाँ पे इनफैक्ट if I can write the result finally, it will be lambda 1 n naught. ये अगर डायरेक्टली लिख सकता हो तो lambda 2 minus lambda 1 इसके लिए आ जाएगा पहले t फिर 0, तो e raised to lambda 2 minus lambda 1 t minus 1, और इसके लिए आ जाएगा e raised to lambda 2 t minus 1. So this is the value of x as a function of time, and this can also be then maximized. So I think you'll have to then work with this function, maximize it. Okay, I hope the others also got this. And I'm told you've apparently seen something like this in kinetics. Cool, nice. So that makes this a very simple question. But if they want to go beyond that, you can also find x more accurately as a function of time. Yeah, cool. Puna, I don't think we can use this in any way, right? I think उसके आगे मतलब if I have to maximize this, I will have to further differentiate this, right? This is a function of time. इसी को इतने पार्ट को differentiate करके maximize करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, cool. Great, fine. Sure. So I think that in a way wraps up. Like with that question, we can in a way wrap up the nucleus wala chapter. I see that we have a little time. I wonder if it's sufficient to discuss your modern physics doubts from the TWT. But given that you guys said that it's an easy paper, let's see. I'm not anticipating many doubts. बताओ क्या discuss करना है? The next class we'll be starting with most probably semiconductors. Anything you guys want to discuss from your Any doubts in the TWT? Easy lag raha hai, I think, for the most part. Second question, radioactivity, 800 to 100. Yeah, so that's like rate of disintegration is going to be your activity, basically. The activity 184. That's 3 half-lives. 5 भी radioactivity पे था. Pretty fairly simple. नहीं, nobody, nothing. That was interesting. Density of uranium nucleus. हर nucleus का same रहता है. All right then. Yes. So in question 16, can I please do the calculation? Because, okay, fine. Question 16. Achha. Density of a uranium nucleus. ठीक है. तो density of a uranium nucleus is going to be, of course, mass of the nucleus divided by volume of the nucleus, and mass of the nucleus is going to be, okay, we don't know the mass number, so let's call it A, mass number times the mass of a proton approximately divided by volume to 4/3 pi r naught cube into a raised to 1/3 ka cube. So that's how we know that this A term cancels out. Okay, so basically, itna karna hai, mass of a proton by 4/3 pi r naught cube. Mass of a proton is 1.67. 1.67 is technically 5/3, right? 5/3 into 10 to the power minus 27. So mass of a proton is 5/3 into 10 to the power minus 27 kilograms, and नीचे है 4/3 pi r naught mol. क्या था यार? Fermi meters, I think 1.2 Fermi meters. So 10 power minus 15 का cube. Yes, so 10 power minus 45. So this thing is 3 raised to something. So ये 5/4, 1.25 1.25 by 3.14, 1.2, 1.2 into 1.2 is going to be approximately 1.44, right? And then on top of that, this is into 3.14. So this is approximately one-ish, something greater than one. This guy into this guy, it's almost like 3 into 1.5. This is going to be approximately 4.5. So how is this coming to 1? Not sure, but so let's say it does. How is this coming to 3? I'm not very sure. But let's say this itna part can approximately be 0.3. बचा हुआ पार्ट, ठीक है, ये तो मैंने काफी हद तक अप्रोक्सीमेट किया. बचा हुआ पार्ट शुड बी 10 पावर 20, 10 power 18, 10 power 18. So then it should be 3 into 10 to the power 17. And you're saying answer set 17. ये powers के अलावा जो चीज है ना, that is, if you look carefully, that's less than 1. That is 0.3. तूने I think इतना check किया कितना आएगा. These are coming to 0.3 and not 3. That's where you went wrong. Got it? Okay, anything else? Maybe I'll add that value to the notes just for us to reference. Check exactly. 3 into 10 to the power 17. इसके आसपास is the density of the nucleus. Cool. Anything else, guys? है तो पूछो. We have 5 more minutes. Go through the paper, see if there's anything else you want to ask. Zero point 333. Interesting. Let's keep it as 3. All right, then. See you guys next week. It's a good sign that you don't have a lot of doubts. See you guys next week. We'll start semiconductors. Bye-bye.